All right. Well, welcome back, everybody. It's
A view of
August
my
6th
kitchen.
here, and we're going to start off today with doing a review of a landing page. And then after that, we're going to set up, do a live demo of a setup on a membership site for you guys in Kartra.
Hey, John, these are recorded, right? So if we want to go
Yep.
back and listen, oh, thank
Yeah,
God.
absolutely. I just
Yeah,
turned the recording on, so you are good to go.
listen, you're the maestro of the mastermind, techno brilliant, amazing man. But sometimes my brain melts and my ears start to bleed after 4 minutes. So
Oh yeah, I know the feeling, believe it or not.
I don't believe it.
Oh
Just kidding.
yeah. I tell people I'm not really a tech guy. I know how to do stuff. Like I use tools like nobody's business.
Yes,
But
that's
like if I had to code this stuff by hand, I'd just pack it in. So I find easy solutions for stuff and I leverage. I'm a master of leverage is what it is. That's
mm,
how I get so much stuff done and I'm so efficient at things. And Kartra is a leverage. Kartra is like one of the biggest pry bars I've put into my business in the last decade. Seriously, it's awesome. Between Beaver Builder on WordPress, that gave me the leverage to start doing web development again, because I was completely out of web development for a long time because I didn't have the leverage. But that's what I look for. I look for tools that give me an incredible amount of leverage. It's not my tech ability, believe me. My computer crashes, I'm screwed. I am not the one repairing computers and shit like that. So, all right, so let's get into it here. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I think we got, let's see, yep, we got Joe on here. So we're going to look at Joe's page. Um, Joe's a veteran in the arena of bookkeeping, taxes, all that. He's like a lifelong career guy in that. Now he's moving over into the marketing side and coming online trying to sell his services. So we're going to look at what he's done, kind of go through it piece by piece, tear it apart, let him put it back together and be more effective. So that's our first goal here for today. So I'm going to share the screen and I'm going to show you the landing page that he set up and sent over to me.
Wait, John, did you say you're going to tear this apart so I got to redo it?
I'm going to tear you up here, Joe.
Great. I thought I was done with this.
Oh no, that's the thing about marketing. You're never done.
never.
Okay.
Marketing, it's when you put a piece out, it doesn't matter how good it is, how bad it is, whatever. When you put a piece of marketing material out into the world, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to test it. You're going to send some cold traffic to it. You're going to see how it reacts. And then you're going to look at the results. And then you're going to come back and go, wow, how could I do better? Because the better you do, the cheaper your target advertising becomes and the more profitable you become in your business. So you're never done. You're always looking for how do you convert more and how do you buy more traffic to convert more. So again, you're never done. And what we're going to look at, this is going to be directly related to the ACT process. We're going to be looking at the market. We're going to be looking at the messaging to the market based on analysis. And I think you might have a mismatch going on here, because if I'm correct in my assumption here, I think you're targeting like small businesses, one-man bands, one person shows. Is that right?
Right. Right.
So we're not after big business. And the first thing I see up there is a CFO starter package. Now, does that make sense for a one-man band? Is that the right languaging for them? Like, do they sit at home thinking, wow, I only wish I had a CFO starter package? Most of these guys probably don't even know what CFO is. Like, I was deep into my business before I would have known what a CFO starter package was.
It's a belly and spaceship, right? CFO?
Well,
Yeah,
that's why I did the video, John.
is that language? Because see, I haven't clicked on the video yet. Remember, this is a landing page for cold traffic. So if I land here, I'm going to decide at a glance, am I in the right spot? If I'm not in the right spot, I'm not playing the video.
So the subtitle doesn't matter.
So I'm not seeing that. When I hit the first page, I'm seeing CFO package and I'm seeing only $1 to try. Now, if this isn't grabbing my attention, it doesn't matter how cheap it is. Why do I want to try it if it's not for me? So you got the two biggest things on the page, CFO starter package and only $1 trial. See, you see what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So the languaging, when someone lands on a landing page, especially cold traffic, you have to speak their language right out of the gate. When they pull this page up, they got to go, oh, I'm home. I found the guy for me. That's what needs to happen. And you have literally a second to do it. So this is really critical. This goes back to analysis. And I think if you did your analysis, I don't think you would have come up with CFO. I think that wouldn't have been something that related probably with their languaging. Because I know, like, from my perspective, I was this guy for a long time. You know, I've been in business 35 years, and probably for the first 20 of those years, I was the guy you're looking for. I was like the one-man band. I didn't have a team. It was me. I was an army of one. And I think that's who you're after, the one-man band, the army of one. And CFO, I wouldn't have known what that was.
I get it, but you know, like, most of the battle for me has been like, what is that thing? Like, what are those words? Just tell me what they are and I'll put them up there.
Well, that's the thing. You got to get into it. Like you might ask them a question here that really kind of grabs their attention and they go, oh shit. You know, you might unveil a pain that they have. Like you might say, you know, do you have your books set up properly? You know, you might say, hey, are you a one-man army? Are you a one-man army in your business? Do you have your books set up properly? Is this your first year in business? A lot of these people, probably it is. It's probably their first year in business.
Yeah.
And a good thing to bring to their attention is, this year's going to end. Are you going to be prepared to submit your taxes? This is a whole new world for you. You're not a person anymore. You're a business. So you're going to have a whole new adventure come tax day. Are you going to be prepared for that? Or are you going to be alone wondering, what the hell am I going to do? And worse yet, if you screw it up, are you prepared for when the IRS comes calling? Okay. You're a one-man army. Do you have enough ammo to fend off that attack? And they're going to go, oh shit, no, who do I turn to? Joe, can you help me?
Good.
See what I'm talking about?
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to delve in and create their pain. They might not know the pain. They don't have the pain because they're just oblivious to it. They don't know what they don't know.
Well, yeah. Well, they don't know what's down the road in like 6 months.
Exactly. And that's what your job here is to do, is to educate them that they have a problem they didn't know about 10 minutes ago.
So John, these are people that, like, I see them, they're using spreadsheets as their bookkeeping program.
Yeah.
And they do it in, you know, like March 14th. And it's due March 15th. So I think that, you know, the whole being prepared thing is what I'm after.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
I love the dollar trial. Like, get your book set up for $1. That's phenomenal.
I got that from Kartra.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, that is great. You just need the right lead in to make them want to do that.
Okay.
Now, the other thing too, is this your first page? Is this like where you're going to land people?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
Okay. I wouldn't. If I were you, this would not be the first page I send them to.
Okay.
What I would do is I would get them to opt in, because there's no place on here to opt in. This is a buy or die page.
Right.
If they hit this and they don't click here and order, you've lost them forever. So you will not have a chance unless you have a retargeting pixel and you're set up to retarget them effectively. You're going to pay for a bunch of people to hit this page and they're all going to go away and you're going to be left with nothing. No list, no sales, no future, no hope. Seriously. You know, I mean.
So I should just give up right now?
No, you just need to fix this shit. This is simple stuff.
Well, no, I got you. This is, you know, the truth is I threw this page up there because I got affiliates that just wanted an affiliate link.
Okay, no.
So I didn't even go through, you know, once I put it up there, I started going back through the whole act thing. And I actually watched you yesterday talking about buying the traffic and all of that. So I get it.
Yeah. No, it's fine that, you know, it's perfectly fine. I just told you, you know, I was going to tear you up on this one. And it's for an example. It's for everybody, so you guys know what to do. It's so easy to throw up a landing page, and it's great if you have warm traffic. Like if you've got affiliates and they seriously just want a page to buy something, that's fine. But if this is a marketing piece and you're going to send, you know, real traffic to this, cold traffic, anything like that, building your mailing list is the most fundamental key thing that you all need to start with. If you're getting traffic, whether it's free traffic, it's people on your site already, it's paid traffic, it's referrals, it doesn't matter. Unless you're building a mailing list, you have no ability to communicate with these people in the future. That will change your business forever, just that one thing.
So would this be like a link from an email, or would it be like a thank you page on an opt-in? I mean, what would this actually be?
Yeah, once you get this page dialed in, you could use this page for a number of things.
Okay.
But I wanted to use it as an example of an attempt at a landing page for cold traffic. So if that's not what it is, then, you know, just kind of set my part of that aside.
Right.
But, you know, if this is a page, even if this were a page, though, to send to affiliates to send people on here, when you send somebody to a page that has a buy or die scenario like this, like the only thing they could do here is buy it.
Right.
And if they don't buy it, they're gone forever, no matter how you got them here. So if you're going to send someone to a buy or die page, you've got to be really good. You've got to do everything I talk about. You've got to do the 4 things. You've got to grab their attention. So we've got a fundamental problem right here with grabbing their attention, because I don't think that's the right language for them. Now, if you're shooting at CFOs and people like, let's say you were targeting specifically somebody that just stepped into the role of a CFO in a company, that would be the perfect headline for them.
Okay.
Because they're like, oh yeah, hell yeah, I need that. I'm a CFO, you know. It's that whole egoic label in the ACT program. What do they call themselves? And small business entrepreneurs and solopreneurs and all of those people, that's not what they don't say. Yeah, I'm a CFO.
No.
You know, if you ask them who they are, they're not going to say that. They're going to probably say, I'm a business owner. They're going to pump it up a little bit. They're not going to say, I'm a small business owner. So you don't want to use that language either, because that's not their egoic label. It's how do they see themselves. This word here, solopreneur, that's an industry word that people in the know created to label an audience. That's what we call them. That's not what they call themselves.
Oh, really?
That's a label we put on them to categorize them, but that's not their language. How many people have you met that said, I'm a solopreneur? I've never heard it, not once ever. And I'm surrounded by people that are in business at all levels. I've never heard that, not once, not ever, except for us calling them that.
Right.
So again, the egoic label, what do they call themselves? And they generally don't call themselves a startup business. That might be what they are, but think about if you ask them, hey, who are you? Well, I'm a business owner. Or they might say, I just started a new business. So that might be a question. Did you just start a new business? Hey, there's some things you need to know.
Okay.
So really, really important that you get this started off on the right foot. That's the attention grabber. That's why the big idea is so important. The big idea, that is like making the promise of what they really want. Even if it's something, if it's avoiding something, maybe they want to stay out of trouble. Maybe they want to not get audited. Whatever that is, whatever's going through their mind at night when they lay their head on the pillow, that's what you want to target into.
All right, you said there were, I have to do 4 things. You gave me 1.
Yep, you got to grab their attention. The next thing is you have to create demand and desire for the thing. Whatever the thing is, you have to create demand and desire for it. Generally, that comes through education-based marketing. So you have to tell them, like, once you grab their attention, you usually do that by a promise. Like, this is a promise. This is a promise I can make you. Here's how we're going to deliver on it. Here's what you would have to do to get to the promised land of what you want. So that's where the education comes in. That's where webinars work really well. That's where video sales letters work really well, because you're walking them through this process. It's the timeline. The timeline is exactly what it is. So the timeline's where they are, where they want to be, and the education is in the middle of showing them how you're going to get them there. Here's all the things you need to look out for. Here's all the things you would need to do in order to get this thing that you really want. And that's your promise. You're going to take them there. You're going to transform them into from who they are into who they want to be, or where they want to go, or whatever it is. Then the third piece is to eliminate their objections, because at some point in the process, objections are going to start coming into their mind, even if they haven't said it yet. So you're seducing the heart with promises. You're seducing the heart. That's creating demand and desire, but it's also creating objections where the head comes in, and now you've got to convince the head. So I talk a lot about seducing the heart, convincing the head. You got to do both of those. That's number 2 and 3. And once you've done those 3, once you've grabbed their attention, created their demand and desire, eliminated their objections, the offer, I say creating an irresistible offer. If you do the first 3 right, you can have a shitty offer and it's still going to convert. Because if they want it and there's no reason not to buy it, there's nothing going to keep that sale from happening. So you can have a mediocre offer if you've done the first 3 right. Now, if you add a good offer, like the $1 trial, get your book set up for $1. I was looking at that going, holy shit, who's not going to buy that? That's a great offer, but you stumbled on the first 3. So you got 3 against you to get to the 1. So those 4 pieces, if all of you, if you combine those 4 pieces in your marketing, you're going to convert. There's no way around it. That's like for me, I just educated you. If you guys were not in the group and I just did this to a cold audience, what do you think they're going to want to do? They're going to want to buy the ACT program because they're going to want that. You guys already have it. I just want you to use it. But that's the system. That is marketing. When you have good marketing, sales becomes superfluous. You don't need salespeople. You just need order takers. And Kartra is your order taker. That's like I talked about leverage in the beginning of the call. I use leverage for lots of stuff. Kartra is an incredible leverage tool to automate processes and get things done and make you look like a superstar. I mean, if you were doing all this by yourself without the automation of Kartra, you wouldn't get very far. You wouldn't be able to manage very many customers. You wouldn't be able to manage follow-up. So you wouldn't get sales.
So let me ask you something, John. I don't think my service is something that somebody's just, it's not like software where you're just going to go on a landing page and buy it. I don't think, I mean, who's going to hire a bookkeeper or an accountant without actually talking to them?
Nobody. That's why you have video. You leverage the power of video.
Okay.
Because when you talk to them, you're pretty much talking a one-sided conversation for the most part.
Right. You know, what I really want is to have a conversation with people.
Why?
Because they might not even fit into my program.
That your video could flush that out easy.
Oh yeah? Okay.
Absolutely. Anything, I guarantee you, anything you guys are doing in the real world, you can replicate.
So you think that somebody that just found me through my website and wound up here watching my videos, they're going to actually sign up for this?
Hell yeah.
Really?
All you have to do is you've got to figure out what you're doing in the real world that converts, and then you got to digitize it. So if you're having a one-on-one conversation with somebody, you're having it, look at it from the perspective of what are the pieces? What's the engineering behind why this works? You're asking them questions for a purpose. You're either asking them questions to gather information for yourself, which I don't think is true, or you're asking them questions for them to come to their own conclusion that they need you. And you can absolutely do that with video.
So you just, because I know it's working in the physical world.
Yeah.
I know the questions that I'm asking. I didn't apply that here. So that you're saying that I just gotta.
Yeah, you have to, like I've said this for a couple of years now. Anything that works in the real world will work in the online world, and you can automate probably 99.9% of it. If it doesn't work in the real world, it's not going to work over here either. Like if you look at what you're doing online and just ask yourself, would this work in the real world? And if the answer is no, it ain't going to work over here either.
That makes it just so much easier now.
Yeah. Look at what you do in the real world and make it happen in the digital world. And,
I mean, I just have to look at the last 15 clients I signed up and work it backwards and say, what exactly happened that made them sign up with me?
Yeah, exactly. And the whole thing of you needing to talk to them, that is you talking to them. It's just in video format, and you leverage your time by doing that. I guarantee you that, like for me, sitting here talking to you, would you really know if this was a recording or if it was me live, if we weren't talking back and forth live right now?
No.
No. And they won't either. Like I've done several webinars now where people thought I was on live. I'm sitting back here on my other computer doing work and the video's going, and then I hop in every once in a while and answer some questions. And nobody has any idea. It's not me doing my
Wow. So
thing.
that happened one time when I did a watch party instead of doing my Facebook Live, and then I was texting a client, they said, "But you're doing the live. How are you doing this?"
Yeah, that's leverage.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the sales attendant thing. Is this what you're talking about? Like, I can use the sales attendant.
Well, that's just, the sales attendant is just a tool. The tool, basically, it's a great tool. And the sales attendant is basically to do exactly that. It could create a situation where you can ask people questions and then answer them based on their answers to the questions.
Right. Okay, I got it.
So that's what that tool is. Now, most people, most marketers aren't that sophisticated. They just understand their audience. They understand the process they need to take them through in the real world, and they just do it with a video.
Right.
They'll do a presentation. They already know the questions, so they can assume the questions, and they can assume the objections, and they can just address the questions, address the objections, get them through the whole process, and make the offer. All automated. And now, I know this sounds a whole hell of a lot easier than it actually is. It's seriously, even for me, when I talk about it, it sounds easy. And then when I go to do it, I'm like, oh, shit. There's a lot of pieces to this puzzle.
Well, there are, but it's now, and I'm writing down all the people that I signed up, and there's a pattern here.
Exactly. That's the biggest takeaway of this lesson right here. The biggest takeaway for everyone is, if it works in the real world, it'll work in the digital world. You've got to figure out what works in the real world. Like everything I just said to you about this page, I was talking about the real world. Like these people, they're not going to say I'm a CFO. That doesn't work. So it's not going to work here either. Seriously, it comes down to that simplicity. If it works in the real world, it's going to work over here. You got to understand who you're talking to and what their language is, what their desires are, what they're afraid of. That's why the analysis piece of ACT is so important. It's not just about your avatar. It's not just about what color hair do they have. It's about them as a person. Who are they? Who do they think they are? Who do they want to be? Why? What do they need to get there? All of that stuff. That's the really important stuff. Like people get hung up on the worksheets. The worksheet is just a guideline for you to brainstorm who this person is. You're going to have to really dig into their persona. The questions I've got on the worksheet are just, and a lot of times they're irrelevant. Like, are they married or not? Do they have a girlfriend or not? That may not matter, but it might. That's the reason they're on the worksheet. Are they college educated? It may not matter, but it might. If they are college educated, then they might have different languaging. If they're in that particular process and they're used to working with professors, they need to speak more proper English. In that case, it matters.
So how do you figure out what matters and what doesn't matter?
Well, you've got experience with your people, so that would tell you. Like when you talk to people, how are they talking? Are they sitting prim and proper? Are they dressed, nice? Is their appearance important? Or are they kind of laid back? Are they slouching? Are they not well dressed, not well groomed? Are they talking slang? Who are they? You've got to mirror them for them to be comfortable with you. If they're not comfortable with you, they're not going to trust you. You're not going to have rapport, and you're probably not going to have a connection that hits with them. It's like if you've ever watched Frank Kern, he mirrors who his audience is. When he goes to a more sophisticated audience, watch his wardrobe, it will change. Watch his language, it will change. He can become very prim and proper.
Why can't I just buy an ad and put it somewhere?
Because we'd all be millionaires and then life wouldn't be fun anymore, right?
Okay, I'm having fun. I'm having a lot of fun, John.
But when Frank Kern addresses the audience of the guy that's in a day job and he wants to be a entrepreneur, he wants to be a business owner, what does Frank morph into? He morphs into a surfer. His language changes. He morphs into the guy that guy wants to be. Not the guy who the guy is, but who the guy wants to be. That guy wants to be carefree. That guy wants to wander the beach and make plenty of money and not have to worry about anything. So that's who Frank becomes when he talks to that guy. He mirrors not who he is, but who he wants to be. And that works. That works because that draws. People are attracted to who they want to be. You know, they say we're attracted to like attracts like. Well, also desire attracts like as well. So we can be attracted to who we want to be even though we're not there yet. That's where you can get massive followings. If you figure out what a massive audience wants to be and you become that and they all start following you because they want to be you, that's a Tony Robbins.
Wow.
You know, there's massive power and leverage in that concept. You know, that's where you get world leaders. And that's a concept that Frank has seen in the real world. And he's used it in the digital world and it's worked every time.
Hey, John, if Joe had people sign up already, is there a way for you to help him like reverse engineer or look at who already bought his program? Because those are his peeps. So can he somehow reverse analytics it?
He already knows that. I saw it in his eyes.
Oh.
When I got the thought process going for him, he's already re-engineering it right now. He's I know these.
I got it on my post-its. They're all over the place. Yeah. I just got to put them in order now.
Yeah. He's already done that. I just needed to set him on the right track.
Joe, you're such a good egg. We're your people too.
Joe is awesome, man. He does what is told to him. And that is like the biggest thing that can move you guys forward is if you just take action. Joe's a massive action taker. I'm like
Thomas Edison.
Yeah,
I've tried this like 9,500 times. I got like another 500, I think. Yeah, so you just keep trying stuff, John. You know, a lot of it doesn't work, but then I find one little thing that works.
Yeah.
And I stick with it.
But seriously, if you go back to the foundation, if you just like think back to ACT and think everything that you're doing for your marketing campaign, does this match up? Did I do these steps properly?
Right. So I actually did. Last night I went back to ACT right to the beginning with the analysis, and I started. And I don't know if it's. I think Facebook has changed. Mm-hmm. I mean, are those videos still current?
Some of the little things like the levers inside Facebook may have changed, but the concept and the people and the audiences don't.
Okay. So like I signed up for that audience finder or whatever that is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So that's all right.
Yeah. All right. So cool. All right. So that's it for Joe. We got Joe wrapped up here. He's got some shit to do now.
Thank God I had nothing to do before this. Thank you, John.
Yeah. I know. I'm happy to help. Oh, one more thing, Joe, I wanted to point out. Your thing here, scorpswork.kartra.com.
Right.
You want to make sure that you guys get your custom subdomains set up in there so you can put these on your own domain. because one of the
Yeah, I
things,
did that. I got to figure out how to do that again.
okay, well, I'll show you that in the next one when I'm working with Dwayne here. But
Okay.
what it does up here in the very top tab, see how there's a Kartra logo on the top tab of your website?
Right.
Here on mine, it's got my little or my
Nice.
Internet Dominator logo.
Right. And I was going to ask you at one point, how do I do that? So you're going to show us.
Yeah,
another
I'll show you how that all works. So
Okay.
I'm
Cool.
gonna go ahead and jump in. I think Dwayne's on here, right?
Yes, I am.
There
Morning.
you are. I was hoping we didn't lose you. So,
No, I
so
won't miss this one.
anyway, I just logged into your account. So for everybody here, this is a brand new, fresh Kartra account. There's nothing in here. There's no products. It's empty. So you probably just bought this the other day, right?
Yeah, 2 days ago.
Okay.
Yep.
So the first thing that I did in here was I went to custom domains and I set up here. His website is peaceinthelaw.com. So we put a subdomain of get peaceinthelaw.com. So that's now the website that will host all of his Kartra pages. Now, I didn't put the little logo in here, but you can do that. You can go in here and you can edit this and you can add that. And then up here, that will show up now on all of those pages. So that's something that you'll want to do, Dwayne. You'll want to come in here and edit this and put your little icon in there.
Okay, thanks. I'll do that.
Okay. So, what we're going to do here is set up a membership site. So the first thing I'm going to do, we're going to do this the easy way. We're not going to build this from scratch. We're going to use my favorite thing, which is leverage. So in the ACT program, under the resources tab here, there's a bonuses tab. I'm just going to go in there, and under Kartra here, done for you templates. These are templates I've actually created. And they're in here for you guys to use. So I'm just going to copy that template code. And then I'm going to go back into his account. I'm going to go over to the campaigns tab. And then here, I think this is under available campaigns. This is like the done for you section. And I'm going to click the import button. And remember that little code I copied? I'm just going to paste that in there. And here's something about Kartra. If you paste in, it doesn't really see anything happen, so it doesn't activate the next button. So I'm just going to, I know that's a lowercase a, so I'm going to backspace and just re-add it. And now we can move forward. So that happens a lot in Kartra. It frustrates the hell out of people because they're trying to move forward and they're like, everything's filled out. Why can't I move forward? It's because you pasted something. So just go back and just redo the last piece of it. Okay, so I'm going to hit next. And now it's showing me you're about to import the campaign membership site template. And the following assets will be created in your account. It's going to create 4 pages, 2 tags, 2 lists, 1 product, 1 membership site, 1 automation, 1 form, and 1 help desk. Now, for you guys to create all that shit and connect it together on your own, you'd probably be here for a week trying to figure all that out. But leverage, begin import. Here we go. Campaign successfully imported. How's that? How long did that take? So now when we go back over here and we refresh, we're going to go back into pages. Oh, wait a minute. What happened? I know what we did. I've missed a step. Sorry, guys. Go back to campaigns now. And where is it? Okay, there it is. Sorry, I don't do this very often. So we imported it. Now it's here. We have one more step. We have to deploy. So we click deploy. we have to put a prefix on here. Now what this is going to do, this is going to label all of the assets that it's going to create so we can identify them. Because later on, you might have 4 or 5 campaigns and you're going to have all these pieces. So being able to label them and identify them is really important. Okay, so let's just label this one membership. So everything, oh, and it's 8 characters. So call it members. So we'll call it members and membership site template. Now we're going to import. So there it goes. Now it's deploying the assets inside the campaign and it's putting them all in here. All right. So now, there we go. Now we've got the 4 pages. Under communications, we've got lists. So we've got 2 lists here. We've got tags. And see, this members is on the front of everything. So everything that was just put in here has members on the front so we can identify it. Under communications, let's see, I think we had an automation in here. So there's members automation. I don't think we created, yeah, we didn't create any sequences, but we also created a help desk. So there's our help desk. Let's see, we created a membership site. There's our membership site. So all of the stuff, and also products. We created a product. It needs to be configured here, so it's not quite done yet, but all the pieces are here and they're all connected now. So it also created forms. So this is like the members site. So let's go through this like from the beginning so you can kind of get a visual idea of what we've got here. First of all, we have a members opt-in page. Remember what I told Joe? I said you have to have an opt-in page. You don't want to have just a sales page. You want to start all your marketing campaigns with an opt-in page. So again, these are just bare bones pages. You need to put your image in here. You need to put your headline on here. You need to put, you know, all of your stuff. And then the button here connects to the form. And then the form, once somebody clicks that button, they go to this thank you page. So again, you put your logo here, you put your product image there, you congratulate them, and then you basically tell them what's next here on the thank you page. Now this could be a download. This could also be, this could also send them, if you wanted to, you could bypass this thank you page and you could go right to the sales page, because now they've opted in. If they come here, it's not a buy or die. It's a buy or we'll talk to you tomorrow. That's a very different thing than a buy or die. So again, you put your big idea headline in here, you state your benefits, and you know, in the ACT program, I talk a lot about 3-dimensionalizing the benefits. So it really brings them to life. And 3-dimensionalizing is so you can hear it, see it, feel it. That's why there's 3 there. So this could all really be the same benefit. It doesn't have to be 3 specific benefits, but you could make this ultra powerful if the benefit was your ideal headline here is something that's a promise of what they really want. And then you talk about the big benefit of having that, and you say it here so they can hear it, see it, feel it. And then you've got your little product image. Now here, this button here, get instant access, that skips them right down to the buy page. So this is basically, you know, you just need to put your offer in here and then get instant access, and that takes them to the order, the order form. So that's your sales page. And then you've got a thank you page after they order. Now on this page, this basically should tell them what to expect. Usually I'll tell them, expect to get an email. It's going to have your membership login. If you don't get this within 30 minutes, please call our customer service line or send us an email, or you could link them right to the support desk, because we created a help desk in here too. So that's the pages. Now, each one of the pages you need to go in, configure, make it your own, put your own information in there. But those pages all exist. The templates are made, the buttons are connected, the form is over here. So you have a form. Now, as far as the form goes, you'll want to edit the form. You go in here, and it right now it's collecting first name, email, and it's got a privacy policy disclaimer. If you wanted to collect a phone number, all you have to do is just go in here and add a new field and select phone number, phone with area code. And then if you want to make it mandatory, you can click that button, hit save, and now it added the phone number here. So once you've got the form set up the way you want it, you just hit next. Now you've got a success page here. See how when this form, it's adding the person to your list, and it's going to send them to that success page. So that's the page that I just showed you a minute ago. That's the thank you page. Next is the welcome email. Now you have to set the welcome email up here. You have to put in here, what it's regarding. Like, thank you for opting in. And then here you can say, thank you for whatever. You can put a link to the next step. You can give them instructions like, hey, I'm going to send you some information here about the product, or I'm going to teach you how to do this. I'm going to show you how you can get, and it's all related back. Keep in mind, this is a string of events that is exactly like what would happen in the real world. Let's say you meet somebody at a marketing event. You say, hey, I've got this cool thing, would you like it? Okay, yeah, give me your email address and I'll send it to you tomorrow, right? That would work in the real world. That's what we're duplicating here. We're digitizing that exact process. Can I send you this in the mail? That's what we're doing. That's the opt-in. It's automating it. That's the leverage. So you would just put in here that what would you say? Like, hey, it was great to meet you. Here's the thing I promised you. Here's how to take advantage of it. That's this email right here. So once you're done there, you save that, and then save and next. Now here's where you can assign tags. What we did, we subscribed them to a list here, the membership list. Now you could put them in here as a prospect. You could add them to anything you want. You can add them to a follow-up email sequence. I really recommend developing a follow-up email sequence. I've talked about this for the last 20 years. I've been putting people online for well over 20 years. And about 20 years ago, I started talking about autoresponders. Back then, they were basic. They were just known as autoresponders. It was like if somebody sent an email to a particular email address, it would send them a follow-up sequence. And I told all my customers, I said, here's what I want you to do. This looks overwhelming, but here's what I want you to do. The next customer that you get in real life, the next customer that you send an email to or you start corresponding to, I said, I want you to treat them like they're the last customer on earth, and your very livelihood depends upon them. And I want you to just give them the most stellar experience of their life and of your life. And every time you send them something, I want you to take that communication and drop it into your autoresponder. So when the next person down the line comes into your process, they get the same experience. That's the best way to do it. Just take one person and make a prime example of them and create your auto response, create your sequence based on that. You're going to do it over and over and over if you don't do this. or you're going to lack customer service and you're going to give people a mediocre or possibly crappy experience in the future. You choose. Kartra will automate a stellar experience, but you have to be able to give someone that to begin with. So that's what I've told people for over 20 years. Take your next customer, your next prospect, and treat them as though your livelihood depends upon them and their satisfaction, and just give them that experience, document it, load it up into Kartra, and let everyone you ever deal with from now on get that same experience. That is a pretty cool thing to do. That's a very worthwhile thing to do. It's a difficult thing to do, but you only have to do it once. And then it's going to happen over and over and over. And if that's not worth it to you to put that much effort into your business, then you probably shouldn't be in business. And like I said, it's harder to do than me. It's easy for me to talk about it. It's a much more difficult thing to do, but you should start striving to do that. And you've probably already done it. You've probably already given spectacular experiences to people in the past. Look at your emails. Go back and copy the emails that you've already sent. You've got a sent folder that's probably 10 miles long, and all this shit's probably in there if you want to go dig it up. To me, it's easier just to do it right from scratch, right from the get-go, and just, start popping it in there. I cheated. Like I got into the Kartra sequence, and I took every email that they sent me as a follow-up, because they do this spectacularly. Every email they sent me, I copied their email and I dropped it into my own sequence to go back later and just edit it and customize it to my own process. So I kind of cheated on that one. But anyway, this stuff, it gives you the ability to assign tags here. Again, this is after they've opted in. The form is actually going to do all the work. Once you set it up, it does it forever. And then the form design, we just selected here to use the form in a Kartra page. So that's really easy. And that's it. That's all there is to the form. And the pages, these just need to be edited to have your messaging, your colors, your logos, all that stuff. In communication, here's your list. So there's a membership list here, and there's also an affiliate. Now the affiliate is for over here in the products. So we've got this product. We can edit the product, and if you want to change the name of it here, like I put Z membership in here, but he actually has a name for this. So let me just pull up the Word document. So that's the name. This is going to be Legal Empowerment Training. So I'm just going to change the name here to that. Okay, I'm going to leave members in there because that connects this whole campaign together. And this is just an internal name. Nobody's going to see this. This is only for you guys. So it's going to show up, here under the products. Now, you can change this. If you ever want to change this, you can change that. Here's the official membership name. So that's the Legal Empowerment Training. Now, if you want a logo for it, this is something you probably want to do. You probably want a logo in here. We're going to change this. So I'm going to pick, that's a little logo of his symbol. So we'll confirm that. And now, let's see, we'll add that in. Now remember, okay, so we can save that. Now here's another thing I didn't show you, but if you want to go into change here, you can list this product publicly in the Kartra marketplace if you want to do that. For now, I'm just going to keep it private. But if you want, you can click here, you can list this publicly so all the Kartra affiliates can promote it for you. And you just have to configure that if you want to do that. But for the sake of time, we'll just keep plugging away here. Now you have to set up how you're going to do your payment processing. And I don't think we have anything integrated in here yet, so I'll leave this. But you would basically select a payment gateway in here, whether
Actually, I set up PayPal.
Oh, okay. So we can do that. We can plug that in, and
Mhm.
I didn't realize you'd set that up already. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I set
Okay.
a few things up. I made it through the first 4 stages or so.
Oh, okay. Cool. Awesome. So we'll save that. So now we go to pricing. Now this is, again, this one was just imported, so we can change this. So this is the monthly membership. You can change that if you want to. And also you can enable an initial payment here. So I'm going to go back and look at his sheet here. So we're going to do $1 for the first 30 days and then $29.95 a month. So initial payment, that would be $1 for 30 days. And then I think it was $29.95 per month. So that's got that. It's a recurring payment. So we're all good there. Now, if you want to add additional prices, you could add, this is price 1. You could add additional price levels in there. Like if you wanted to do some kind of a special offer, you can do that. If you've got shipping, there's no shipping with this, so we've just got that off. And since this is a digital product and it isn't like something you're sending, there shouldn't be any tax on here. Now, refund policy, that's turned on, 30-day money-back guarantee. If you don't want that, you can just change it there, or you can make it a 60 or a 15-day. Now, under pages, it's got the membership sales page. So that's the sales page here. And it's also got the thank you page. That's why you need those 4 pages when you go through and you're setting stuff up. If you get to this point when you're creating your product and those pages don't exist, you go, oh, damn it, I got to go back, and you have to keep bouncing back and forth. So anyway, so that's good. And as you change those pages, they'll all automatically update here. So that's all cool. I usually use the Kartra checkout page. It's just perfectly fine for what I want to do. We can change the logo here. So I grabbed your logo, so we can pop that in there. And then we've got an embed of a Kartra help desk. So we've got that turned on because you've got a help desk over here. And then checkout fields, first and last name, email. You can select, like, this is for your product. So this is like anything you want to create in here. If you want to get their address, I highly recommend getting an address. I also highly recommend getting the city and postal code. Having this stuff, this is common stuff. Like when somebody fills out a form, they expect to put this stuff in there. And also, I would probably get a phone number too. Generally, I'm not too worried about company name here unless you're selling specifically to companies, then that might be important. But I want the checkout form to collect all this information, so it's in there. Okay, and then quantity. This isn't a quantity item, so we're not going to configure that. Express checkout. This is something I actually like. I like this one-click checkout. What that means is if they've purchased something from you before, it'll auto-populate all their information so they don't have to fill out the checkout process again. So I love that feature. That's really cool. And then cart abandonment tag. This is something that I like to do. I didn't do it in the template here, but if you want to create a tag, oh, let me get back out of there. My calendar got aggressive on me. Okay, so let's say we want to create a cart abandonment tag here. I know that tag doesn't exist, so we can create a new one. So let's just call it membership abandon. So I'll just copy that, paste it in there. Membership, it's part of the membership. It's in that category. So now it created that tag right on the fly there. Price point 1, membership abandonment. So we're going to add that. What that means is when somebody comes on and they come on to your scenario where they're going to buy your product and they get to a certain point and they back out and they didn't complete the process, now that tag is going to be on there. So later on, you could go and you could pull up, hey, who's abandoned my cart? Let's send them an email. Remember I talked about that, about if this was the last person on earth, how you would interact with them? You would probably go back and say, hey, you know, did something go wrong? Did my system fail you in some way? How can I help you? How can I fix that? That's what this tag allows you to do, which is awesome. Here is terms and conditions. So you can put in there like, yes, they have to agree that this is a monthly billing scenario. So you might want to go in there and put whatever language that you want on there. And then next, after the sale, what happens after the sale? We want to add them to a customer list. They're now a membership customer. We want to add a tag. They're now a membership customer. And then accessing the products, we're going to send them, we're going to give them access to a Kartra membership, which has already been connected in here. So price level 1 is going to go to that standard membership. We don't have a price level 2 or 3 yet, so that's just blank. Okay, so that's all set up. You can also do advanced automations here. We don't have any currently that we want to set up, so we'll just bypass that for now. And then the affiliate program. Here you can, and I've already got this set up where it's 50% to an affiliate and then 20% on the follow-up charges. Now, you might not want to do that. If that's the case, you can go in here and you can just turn it off. You can just say no affiliate program. Are you going to do an affiliate, Dwayne?
Yes, I am. It's fairly high price stuff, so I thought to offer 40%.
Okay, so we can go back. Go back and change that to 40, and then 20 on the follow-up. Now this is specific just to this product too. So
right.
if you have other products, every time you add a product to your Kartra, each product you have the ability to change the numbers here. So we'll leave that one for now. So they get 40% of the first sale and then 20% after the fact. This one I usually leave.
So does this mean on people's monthly payments, to me, the affiliates get 20% of those payments also?
Correct.
Okay.
So if you don't want that, you can always change the following charges to 0 if you want.
Okay,
So,
I'll think about that. What do you recommend with that?
I usually do, like on most of my products, I usually do either 50-50 all the way down the line, or I'll do 50% on the front and 25 on the back. I'm usually very generous with my affiliates because they give me a lot of money. So, and as long as it's a digital product and there's no cost in it, I'm of the opinion of share the wealth. So, but I might be in a different position than you are. You may need to build income before you get to the position that I'm at. For me, all of this extra stuff, it's like free money. I don't need it. It's nice to have. But like when I add new products and stuff to my line, my life is already covered. So that's going to be, up to you guys. So that allows me, like when you get to that point in your life, you can become more generous. And it's like a flywheel in an engine. You know, it's this big heavy weighted thing that once it starts spinning, it gives you momentum. So I have found that my generosity with my time and with my money and all of that, it's like a flywheel in my business that just keeps going faster and faster, and it's like a snowball. And you know, that's just me. That's just my, you know, personal experience on life and business, and it's worked pretty well for me. So
I like that a lot, and I don't necessarily need this either. My expenses are covered, so
okay,
I'm going to really think about that, because I definitely want to share the wealth, especially now, you know, so many people are
sure,
struggling. And I'd
sure,
love, I mean,
absolutely.
they're going to give me customers that will make so much money for me, and I'd love to help them out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
And then you can add them here to your affiliate list. Again, this just basically gives you tags on the affiliates when they come in. Let's see. Or actually, this is the part where tags. I created an actual list, so they will be added to a list, so you can email the list of all of your affiliates. If you have them on a list, you don't necessarily need a tag for them, although you can create that. On the milestones, this is where you can set how much you're paying out after so many days. The reason that you have milestones in here is if you're doing affiliate commissions and you wind up paying out affiliate commissions before your 30-day refund policy, you could wind up paying people out on stuff that they didn't earn. So I like 30 days in there. It kind of gives me a buffer for any refunds that are going to come through. And then I know exactly what I owe all my affiliates.
Great. Excellent.
So that's kind of just a little buffer to make sure you don't get stuck holding the bag.
It's nice.
And
I
then,
like that.
and then here, landing pages for your affiliate traffic. It automatically plugs in your sales page because we put that in at the beginning of this process. But you can
Excellent.
come in here and you can add any landing page you want. When you create a landing page in here, you could create like multiple offers for different affiliates. And when you do that, it will add all those affiliate links in the back end in their affiliate program that they can promote, which is really cool. I don't want to get too deep into that because I want to get onto the membership thing and show how to set that up.
Okay.
But this is a really, really powerful, cool feature of Kartra's affiliate program. And then I always just use their default look and feel. It's perfectly fine for whatever I want to do. And that's it. So your product now is set up, ready to go. This thing will actually take money right now.
Okay. I welcome anybody to send me money right now.
So yeah, since you've got your your payment gateway in there, it's ready to go. The only thing now we have to worry about is the fulfillment. So now we have to go over and let's edit your actual membership. Okay, so what was this called? This was called Legal Empowerment Training. So we will change that here. And it's the same thing. It's so easy. You just walk through the steps and just set it up piece by piece. Now here I've got a little trainer logo in there. If you want, I can put your eagle logo in there if you want that.
I'd like the trainer logo for now.
Okay.
I'll get something similar to that, maybe with my picture in it or something.
Okay, cool. So
Yeah.
we'll leave that. And this is password protected, so they need a login. We'll leave that. Now it comes over to the contents. This is where you actually build out your membership site. And so you go in here into the builder, and this is going to start a tutorial, which I hate these, but I'll leave it in here for you because you might want to, go through this later and see it again. All right, so when you go through and you get this wired, you can do this don't show again, but I'm not going to do that, so you can go through it on your own. So I'll just do let's get started. Now, obviously, you don't want my picture in there, so we want to edit that, and we want to put you in there. Okay. Confirm. And then, okay. And how do you spell your last name?
Light.
That's easy. And then if you want like your contact information, you can check this off to put your email, your YouTube, any of your social media stuff. And then that will just, that will just add those links right down there. So up here, we've got, the basic stuff up here that you can add. If you want to have different things up here, you could do a new category. Let's say you wanted to drop a new category in there. You just slide it over, drop it, name it. So let's see here. I've got your categories over here somewhere. Okay, so you have intro, pause, embody. So I'm just going to add that guy in there. We'll change this one to intro. And then let's add some more in here. It was intro, pause, embody, accept, create, empower.
Now, what I did here was I really put in kind of the outline for the course. So maybe this could go elsewhere and I could just name the course up there. But I thought I'd go ahead and drop these in for now because this is my one product.
Yeah, sure.
Does that sound like an okay way to do that?
Yeah, because you can have multiple memberships.
Right.
I just want to show you how to set up the framework, the structure of it.
Yeah.
Okay, support resources. Okay, so let's see. So we've got we'll change that one to support. And then we will change that one to resources. And upcoming events, we'll just get rid of that one. All right, so now we've got the basic outline of your course here. So going into here, if we click on any of these to go into them. Okay, so we've got intro is where we're at, and then lessons. So what that is, what these are is posts. So to add a new post here, we could drop new posts in there. Let's see. Okay, so intro, you've got how this works, why this works, the piece system. Okay. So why this works. Okay. And then this one will change. And I think this one was how this works. Okay, so now you've got the how this works one. You got the why this works. And on any of these, it's just drag and drop your content in here. So over in the panel, this is post contents. Like if you want a headline in there, drop a headline. If you want an image, you can drop an image in there. And then you can select the image, whatever image you want. Like we could put your logo image in there if you want. And then here, if you want to link it, you can center it right, left, however you want that. And if you want a video, I know we don't have any videos set up in here, but if you want a divider between the two, it'll just put that little line between them. Lots of stuff in here. You can put buttons, opt-in forms, download boxes. There's a lot of cool stuff you can drop in here, and it's literally just drag it and drop it. If you get something in a place where you want to move it, you just drag it. Just drag it on up. So super easy to configure your content in your membership site. And you could just add, you know, as many of these things in here as you want. Like you've got, okay, the piece system. That's your third lesson in there. So we will add a new post. See how easy this thing is to do?
This is great. Yeah.
And now you can go to that page and you can add your piece system contents. And you can literally just do that right on down the line.
This is so good.
Yeah, seriously, this thing, I've never seen anything this easy to do. You want to change your logo. It's all literally just click, point and click.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing to this that keeps people from getting ahead and getting anywhere is the contents. Like if you didn't have this laid out, you could sit here and struggle with that for a while. But if you do like what you did and you lay it all out in a Word document, you could literally come in here and in an hour, you can have this whole thing built out.
Mm-hmm.
No problem. Because I mean, we've been working on this for a little over a half hour, probably about 40 minutes right now.
Right.
And if you look at what we've done, we've imported an entire system with tags and products and help desks and membership sites. And, you know, we've kind of roughed it out. You've got, you know, a few hours ahead of you to go in and, you know, clean all this stuff up and all that. But I mean, literally within one day, you have a full-fledged membership site up and running.
I know, it's great. I already have like 35 videos recorded, and I have a lot of PDFs and MP3 recordings, and so I can fill out and I'll do some new stuff live, some new recordings to fill in, but I have a lot of good content to plug in.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you go to one of these, I created some of these new, and they don't have anything under here. All you have to do to get this ball rolling is just drop a post in here.
Mm-hmm.
And these become your lessons.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then now you've got a page in there. And then when you go over that, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
So like on the intro, there's how it works, how it works, why it works, the piece system. It just keeps adding to the puzzle. The more posts you put in, those are like your lessons under the different categories.
Mm-hmm.
So once you get that, or you can leave this now, you can come back to this later. You just go out here, save and exit, and that's going to save your process. And then here, if you have like a color scheme, like by default, it's the cyan, the light blue. But let's say you wanted to do a different color, you wanted a green or, whatever, you can do that here. You can also change the layout. Like we're using this default layout here, which I really like. I think that's a nice layout. But if you wanted your picture on the right instead of on the left, you could do that. If you want, different kind of category layouts, you can, if there's another one that you like better, you can select from up here.
Mhm.
And then once you do that, save and exit. And now that's all locked in there. You can come back to it anytime. You just hit the launch the builder and you can go plug in all your content.
Mhm.
Next is the comments tag. I usually turn all this stuff off. I usually turn off comments because if you get people in here, who knows what they can be saying, and your other members
Yeah.
can be seeing that stuff. So
Yeah.
So
Good.
I leave that off by default. Totally up to you. If you want user interaction, you can enable it.
No, there's too many snarky people out there.
Exactly. Yeah. 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 There's no need to air dirty laundry like that. Okay. So membership access levels. This is really cool here. So let's say you wanted to stream this content out, like you didn't want the piece system available immediately. You could say, hey, give this to them in 10 days. So 10 days after sign up or on a specific date. And then that will open that tab up on that date for them. That's a really cool feature. Or you can just give them instant access, and everything that you add in here, you can have the ability to change those. Like, let's say you've got a 90-day program and you don't want people jumping ahead. You can open the doors as you want them to go through the program.
John, could you do it like after they finish the intro, then to the pause?
You can't do that specifically with this.
Okay.
I don't believe. I didn't see that. This is only by date.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like a number of days after sign up or on a specific date.
Okay.
But you can force linear progression, correct?
Yeah, that's on, I believe that's on the next tab. So when you go to the next tab, this is under progress. You can do the progress bar. Let's see. I think that's where, okay. Yeah, here's where you can force linear progression. So this is where they have to do one to unlock the next one. So if you want to do that, and it shows like a progress bar at the bottom.
Right.
Like if you look at mine down here, see where the progress bar is?
Mm-hmm.
It says 80% complete. This is the way I have it set up in the ACT program, but it's not done linear. If it was, I wouldn't have any gaps. It would be forcing me to go and complete one after the other. And you can see what each one is. Like that's the freedom formula, the analysis overview, the market segmentation, the avatar creation, the analysis competition. So if you want to force them through and not allow them to skip to the end, you can do that. And that's how you do that right here under the progress.
Thank you, John.
So that's the way that's done. Okay, so we'll save and next, and then the help desk. So we've put a help desk in here, which puts it right up here. It will put this support tag, and then when somebody clicks on that, it's going to put them right into your help desk, which the Kartra help desk is phenomenal. That thing is awesome. It saved me so much time, and it keeps a record of your interaction with all of your people. So you can go back and you can see, oh God, this guy's put in 30 tickets. He's a pain in the butt. Let's deal with him a little more appropriately. Okay, so then the welcome. Now here's where you can send a welcome message. So here you can set up the default. So you've already got that. And then here's the actual message. And you can see here, it says, here's your login details. This is the message that's going to go out by default. It's going to give them their login information, the URL, the email, and the password. It's going to send that to them automatically. But you can come in here and you can edit this to be whatever you want. You can add other information in here, or whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see. Okay, so that's good. I'm going to send a welcome message. And next is automations. This is where you can have the ability to assign tags and lists here. We've already done it, so I didn't put it in here twice. But you can set sequences. Like if you want to set, when somebody joins your membership, you might want to do what I was talking about and set up a auto response sequence. And like I said, just take the next one that you do and treat them like they're your only hope. And just keep adding to the sequence. So like, okay, I sent this one today, so it should go out immediately. And then, okay, a week from now, I followed up and here's what I sent them. So set up another step in the sequence for 7 days later and just do exactly what you would do. Treat them like, you're going to do it once. You got to do it once and just plug it into the system. All right. And that is pretty much it. So basically in under an hour, obviously, this needs to, some polishing, but in under an hour, we set up everything. We set up all those assets. We've got the product set up. We've got a list. We've got actually 2 lists, one for your affiliates and one for your members. We've got tags. We set up an abandoned tag. We've set up a past membership customer. This tag gets added if they fall out. Like if they cancel, there's an automation up here that says, okay, assign past customer. So basically, anybody at any price point, if they cancel the subscription, it's going to assign the tag past customer. It's going to unassign the customer tag. So think about what you could do there. You could assign another automation that if this tag is assigned, if somebody gets the past customer tag, you might want to set up another sequence for them. And again, it's exactly what you would do in the real world. Like if somebody cancel out your program, wouldn't you contact them? Wouldn't you contact them and say, hey, I see your membership canceled. Sometimes that happens by accident. Sometimes the payments fail. What can I do to help and assist you and get you back in the program? So it's just a way to automatically reach out to them as you would naturally. Maybe they've opted out because it was too expensive, so you might give them a discount to re-engage. And all of that stuff you can do all on autopilot. So really, really cool. We've got the 4 pages. We've got a form, a membership site, and a help desk, all in under an hour.
Great. Just amazing.
So really, really cool. So now you got some homework. You got some work ahead of you to do, and you can get in there and start kicking butt.
All right. Thank you so much, John. This is so great.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought this would be great because a lot of people have asked about membership sites. And when you ask who could do a membership site for me, I'm like, how about if we just do it live? That way everybody can see and check it out. So
yeah, excellent. Thank you so much.
So thank you for asking.
You bet. I'll think of some more things to ask.
Yeah, absolutely. It helps everybody. So
it does.
Question.
Okay, go ahead, Maria.
I think it was somebody else who talked. Let them first do it.
Okay, I saw you unmuted. Who was asking?
Cheryl.
Oh, Cheryl, go ahead. Hey, welcome back, by the way. I haven't seen you around in a while.
I know, but this was so intriguing. When I saw it in my email, I said, I got to put aside everything else I'm doing right now, and I got to do this program. You're so
Awesome.
amazing. Anyway, I just love the way that you teach. I have a question. I have this website, and now you're talking about doing all this thing in Kartra, and my website's over there in WordPress, over with Beaver Builder. But I was wondering, how did the two relate to each other?
They work together perfectly. In fact,
could I do like a landing page like this and like a membership site in Kartra, and then somehow or another it sends people to my website? Or do I redo my website in Kartra like this? Or
what you can do on your regular website, all you have to do is you just have to add in some points, some access points. And what I mean by that is, like, if you had an opt-in for the sequence, you could just put a headline on your website and put a button for opting in. So it's just like adding an opt-in to your website. The only difference is Kartra now takes over and it runs all the automations on the back end. So
okay.
Kartra works perfectly in alignment with any website.
So on my website, I put an opt-in button, and that would take them over to this landing page that I've created in Kartra.
Exactly. Yeah. Like
what about in Kartra? Can you? My second question was, can you send if you have a product set up? Can you send them to Amazon?
you could, you just wouldn't set the product up in Kartra. You would just set the button up to go to the Amazon buy button.
Okay, no
So
problem.
you could absolutely do that. You wouldn't be selling the product using a Kartra product. You would be selling it using the Amazon gateway. So all you do, you just point it over there to that button. So that's not a problem. You can go to external sources, easy.
External sources, okay.
And I'll show you just so you get an idea of what I'm talking about of integrating with a website. Like, this is my website here, and this right here, this is a Kartra button. So this is my offer. I'm offering a free 15-minute marketing review and strategy session. When you click that button, this is a Kartra opt-in. It pops it up right over my page. And then here, schedule my session. So this is gonna add this data into Kartra. This is gonna give me a tag. It's gonna do all of that stuff. And it's gonna take me to the Kartra calendar. So now I can pick, like, here's the 15-minute consult session. And it'll go right through. This is all Kartra working in conjunction with my website. So you can do all kinds of integration between the two, between your website and Kartra. So
you feel that a website and Kartra is necessary, or can you just kind of like get rid of the website and just do this Kartra thing?
You could, but I wouldn't recommend that, because in an actual website, like in a WordPress website, there's a gazillion things you can do with custom plugins, and there's a lot of things you're going to want to do that you wouldn't necessarily be able to have that flexibility with Kartra. Kartra is not made for that. Kartra can build a website, but that's not what its strength is. Its strength is in building marketing campaigns, landing pages, automated sequences. So yeah, it builds web pages great, but it doesn't build websites great.
Okay.
So WordPress is much better at creating an actual company website. The other thing about Kartra is all dynamic. So the pages are not going to load quite as fast. And that's really important, like with optimization. So that's another place where WordPress really shines more. If you get it on a good hosting platform that's optimized for WordPress that loads quickly, that's going to help you in a lot of different ways for your user experience, your search engine optimization, all of that stuff. So there's huge benefit to having a WordPress site, and there's huge benefit to having a back-end marketing campaign. And that's where Kartra comes in. So it's like the front and the back. It's it's a marriage that I just fell in love with. Gives me the leverage that I don't have to be a tech guy, which I want no part of that. I can work my way around. Like, you saw how easy it was for me to work my way around in Kartra. Was I writing any code? All I was doing was grabbing shit and sliding it around.
Yeah. I
was copying, pasting, typing. That's it. That's like the extent of my tech skills. But it's the familiarity. I've spent a lot of time in Kartra. I've spent a lot of time setting campaigns up, thinking through the process. That's why it's a lot quicker for me than it will be for, you know, for you guys getting started. You'll fumble around a little bit. It's, you know, it's just it's a learning curve like anything else. If you're going to get skills in anything, like marketing's the same way. Marketing is critically important for any business. And if you don't put in the time to advance yourself through that learning process and through that learning curve, you're going to remain where you are and your results are going to remain where they are. So the only way to move forward is to advance your skills. And I know you all hate tech, so let's not advance our tech skills, but let's advance our marketing skills. That's where you're going to get the biggest bang for the buck. It's not learning code, it's learning people, and it's learning leverage. I use, like I said, I've talked about that many times in this particular call, leverage. I use Kartra as leverage. I use WordPress as leverage. I use knowledge of people as leverage to accomplish things that I want to accomplish in my life. That's the easiest way I know of to advance yourself forward. If you grow and gain those skills, you will advance your results. I think a lot of people on here have advanced their results just in the last few months just because of these skills, right? I think there's a lot of people on here that you've either got more people on your mailing list, you've got more customers, you've got more knowledge, you've got more skill set, you've got more opportunities because you've advanced your marketing skills. The more you advance them, the more those things will open up. So,
Yeah, I have one more question, John.
sure.
So I'm just starting to build my mailing list and working with affiliates. When I give them a link to share what I'm doing, should I have them go to my first free gift, my ebook or something, and then a sequence and just start them that, or should I go straight to the sales page?
Don't ever go straight to the sales page. Always go to an opt-in. That was like what I was talking about with Joe. Never send them to a buy or die scenario. Always send them to a lead capture first. If you don't send them to a lead capture and it's not appropriate for whatever reason, at least put a retargeting pixel. And I know I haven't gotten into that in much depth with you guys yet, but a retargeting pixel gives you a way to follow them around. It's like opting in without opting in. The guys at Digital Marketer, they're big on that now. Like they've removed all the opt-in boxes off all their offers because they've gotten really good at retargeting. But if you're not to that level yet, make sure you don't miss opportunities and not get people to opt in.
Okay. Two things I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing these live workshops for a while and then recording that and making that a recorded workshop. But that's the first sale thing. It'll be like $200 discounted, $197.
Okay.
And then from that, I want to from there sell them to the membership site and the 21-day course and all the other products and everything. So I should start with the sales page to the workshop. I should just do this whole sequence from the start.
Yeah. And when you're creating the overall marketing campaign, like all the people that I work with on apprentice level, I tell them all the same thing. I go, let's start with the big idea, because the big idea kind of goes throughout the whole thing. It's beginning to end. Everything is tied back to that because it's the promise. Big idea is the promise, the unique delivery mechanism of how you're going to deliver on the promise. And it says it in a way that draws in their interest, a way they've never heard it before. It's like intellectually interesting. And once you have that on the front end, then I usually have them jump to the offer. So we get the front end locked in and we get the back end locked in. So we know how we're going to grab their attention. We know what we're going to offer them. And now it's a matter of building the case for it. We're going to create the demand and desire. That's the part in the middle that you fill in based on the beginning and the end. If you know where you are and you know where you're going, it's a lot easier to draw a roadmap. When you're creating all of your marketing materials in the middle, like let's say you're going to create a webinar if you know where you are and you know where you want to go, you can effectively create a roadmap that becomes your webinar. You're walking them down the path. You're like exposing the problem. You're exposing what they would have to do to overcome it, what they would have to do, all the milestones and the hurdles that it's going to take them to get to that desired outcome. You're actually showing them, helping them understand what they need. And then you offer to help them with it, or you offer to do it for them, or you offer them a piece of software that's exactly what it does. You don't have to do all of that stuff. Once they understand what it takes, they're much more willing to pay to have it done, or to pay to get something as a leverage piece to do it. Like if you told me, like, let's say I go through the Kartra process, Kartra shows me all the stuff I need to run my business effectively. And I'm like, oh my God, that's freaking awesome. I want all of that, but I know there's no way in hell I'm going to do that. And then they offer me this thing that does it all for me. Like, oh, hell yeah. They could have a crappy offer. They did the first 3 things highly effectively. The offer doesn't matter. Nothing's going to keep me from buying it.
Excellent.
Well,
So I got to
the power. There's real power in knowing the beginning and the ending of your marketing campaign to be able to create the rest of it.
Excellent. Hey, I got to sign off for another call. Thanks again so
All
much.
right. You're very welcome. Thanks for asking about the membership site, because I think that added a lot of value to everybody on here. So
excellent. See you next time.
Very cool. All right, guys, last shot here. Anybody else? I know we've gone way over our normal time, and I appreciate you guys all being on here. Any last questions here before we wrap up?
I just wanted to say that I finally, after all this time, I signed up for Kartra while we were on this call, and I'm so excited to get going.
Oh, awesome.
Yes, so I will definitely look back on a lot of your trainings, that's recorded and so forth. But just in short, with reference to the specific new product that I'm going to sell that's in high demand right now all over the country, would you say on what section should I focus? Pages, forms, campaigns? If I just look at that one thing, although my business needs a lot of different things, but just that one for now.
Well, you basically need a campaign to sell that. Those are the desk shields and the plexiglass shields.
Yes.
So coming up, and again, this goes back to what I said, coming up with a big idea. Yes. Kartra is like the delivery mechanism of your marketing message. So you need, once you get your marketing message, then you just drop it into Kartra, and you will want an opt-in form. You'll want people to opt in to know how to get the stuff and how to get the benefit. Because in your big idea, you need to have a promise. Like, what's the promise? Is the promise of getting these when no one else has them? Is the promise of getting them cheaper? Is, what's the big promise, the big driver that they really want? And then you've got the delivery mechanism. Like, maybe I have an inventory. That's my delivery mechanism. That's how I'm going to get you what you want. Maybe I've bought these. I got a special deal, and I bought, a truckload of these, and I got them at a super price, and I'm going to pass that discount on to you. Whatever that is, you've got to lock that in up front to grab their attention. So they're going to opt in to find out, okay, how do I get that? Now you've got them in the sequence. Now you can show them. You basically tell them how to get them, whatever it is. With this, it's going to be fairly short. It's this particular product you have, they don't need to really learn a lot about it. They already know they need it. And if you're, depending on what your hot buttons are there, you just basically hit those, address any objections they might have, and make them the offer. And that's your order page. So that's where Kartra comes in.
So campaign is what I'll use. That's where I will start with campaigns, and then just follow whatever they ask.
Yeah. You'll need an opt-in. You'll need a thank you page, almost just like what we had there. You'll need an order page, a thank you for the order, a product. The only thing probably in what we did today that you wouldn't need is the membership site part of it.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Everything else, you could use everything else that we had. And The only difference is when they purchase the product, instead of assigning them access to the membership, you're actually going to deliver them a product.
Okay. So, okay. And so I don't have to go to pages or forms. I'm just going to focus on the campaign part, and then for starters, for this particular product.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, John. I'm so excited about Kartra and finally being part of all that it offers.
Very cool. Well, happy to have you on board with that.
I'm excited. Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. Anybody else? All right, guys. Well, hey, thanks for being here. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll be back on. We'll be back on with our regular scheduled thing next week. So
Just one more quick.
yeah, go ahead, Cheryl.
Now, in the abandonment tag section that you went over, you mentioned the word bump offers. We didn't know what that word meant.
Bump offer is an upsell. Like that would be if they're in the process of placing the order and you had like an upsell to give them.
Okay.
Then you would configure a bump offer.
Okay. Thank you.
So it's like if you were in McDonald's and you didn't order fries, the bump offer is, would you like fries with that? Or would you like to upsize that?
Right. Upsize.
That's your bump offer. So, all right. Have a great week, everybody. Thanks for being on here and staying in so long. That was awesome.
Thank you, John. You're the best.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. And hey, Lisa.